welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Lisa Williams, your vision board queen, and I am here to talk to you about all things vision boards. So if you want to find out more about vision boards, do hit that subscribe button. And today we're going to be joined by the lovely Karen, who is going to be sharing some tips around NLP and how to help that achieve. So I'm super excited to welcome the lovely Karen with us today. Karen is going to be sharing some NLP practices with us, and it's going to be NLP to help you achieve. And that is what we're going to be focusing on this episode. So Karen, would you like to introduce yourself to the listeners and viewers?
Yeah, hi everybody, I'm Karen Mills. I'm an NLP practitioner. I am the Director of Zen Occupational Health based in Crewe in Cheshire. I'm a registered nurse and an occupational health advisor.
Fabulous. So how has NLP helped you then in your own journey?
I mean, I first came across it, it was 20 years ago. So I actually had NLP as a client. I was struggling to move on from the death of my mum, actually, who had cancer and was poorly for about a year. And I had some counselling, excuse me, at the hospice. And, you know, I had two small children. I was a registered nurse in a very busy job, married. And, you know, I think some of it is that you've just got to get on with life and you don't have time to grieve. But that was some of the reason probably why I was struggling to move forward. So I had some NLP, and that's where I first ever came across it. And it really, you know, helped me to move forward and make lots of shifts. And one of the first things that we sort of did, which I was like, oh, why are we doing this? You know, I've come for like bereavement, was to get over fears. And there was quite a few fears, more than I thought I had. So we sort of worked through those, and then it was like a process over, you know, lots of weeks where I had almost like a program to help me. And then fast forward, when I worked in occupational health for Cheshire East, they were doing NLP for managers to help them be more resilient and to sort of almost, you know, manage their teams better and also empower their, you know, employees. So I thought, oh, I'm going to have a bit of that because I've had it as a client. I think it'll really help me in my job as an occupational health advisor. So I did my NLP diploma, and you know, I really enjoyed it. It was great. I was using it all the time in my work to help people. And then when I was in my own business, I thought, you know, I think I'd like to go on and do it, train as a practitioner. So I did that, and then I did that in 2019, and then I did my master's in it last year. So I'm very passionate about it. I do use it in my work every day, the way I communicate, you know, with people in everyday life. And I do feel more than anything that it's just helped me to achieve so much in my life. It's helped me to be resilient, overcome lots and lots of things. You know, I've been through, you know, life for us all can be up and down, can't it? And I've had quite a lot of loss, difficulties, divorce, you name it, I've probably been through it. So, you know, I think NLP helps me to overcome a lot of things, and but also helps me to achieve my goals. And I know when I spoke to you, Lisa, you know, because I've got vision boards, you know, you can have a vision board and you can write down all your actions, but things get in the way in life, don't they? And stop you sometimes meeting those goals. But if you've got NLP on board as a tool, I believe that that can help you to sort of, you know, reframe things in life. And, you know, various things can happen in our lives. For example, yesterday, I was in hospital all day with my daughter, who had had a seizure the night before. I couldn't go to a business networking meeting that I was really looking forward to because it was in a beautiful place. not done any for ages, and I thought this would be really good for the business. It'll be really good for me because I mostly work from home. So I sat there. Obviously, I was gutted. My daughter was poorly because she's been stable for about a year and a half. So it was horrible for that, but I knew she was going to be okay. Eventually, she just needed to get checked out. And then moving into, oh, bloody hell, I'm not going to be able to do this now. I can't do this now tomorrow. I can't do this. I can't do that. But I sat there going through all the motions like you do in hospital. And I just thought, right, okay, well, she's in the right place. She's getting sorted and they're checking out. Nothing's going on untoward. But also, in a way, I know this might sound crazy to some people, but I thought this is a day for me to like relax. Like I can sit here
That is
now.
exactly, that is
I
exactly
got a magazine and read a
when
magazine.
when things like that happen to me, Karen, that is exactly what I do. I always think of it as in like, well, this is the universe telling me I need to slow down, I
Yeah,
need to relax. Like if you are watching this on YouTube, you probably have just seen that I've just coughed. I have been on and off poorly for 3 weeks with a cough and a sore
yeah,
throat. And it's literally, but that's the universe telling
yeah,
me it's time to
absolutely.
slow down, it's time
Yeah,
to relax.
yeah,
Rather than being frustrated and trying to get that anger energy and annoyance out,
yeah.
it's difficult, isn't it? So,
Accepting it, isn't it? Yeah,
and I had a similar thing. Must have been before Christmas. My daughter fractured her wrist, and we were sat in A&E for a couple of hours. And I'd had a night booked of clients, I had a night booked of speaking, and I was like, the universe told me to have a night off.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
telling me to have a night off. So it's that reframing, isn't it? So
yeah,
if that,
absolutely.
obviously not everyone is familiar with NLP and what it actually does or
Yeah.
how they can use it. So can you share a few practical ways in which NLP would work in general life for them?
Yeah, I think I mean initially when you study NLP, it's very much about having an awareness of yourself and how you show up in the world. For example, we all it a basic thing really would be just say communication. So we all look at things and do things in different ways, and it's about recognizing that. So, for example, I'm more kinesthetic and a visual person, so that means that I'm more coming from a place of feeling. I'm bothered about how things feel on me, and I might like touchy feely things. If I go and buy clothes, it'll be more important for me how they feel on me. Are they comfortable rather than, oh, they're the latest fashion, say. But I have got quite high visuals. So again, it's like if things look nice, I like to look nice. I like, nice things. And so I'm filtering my world in that way. Actually, when I've sort of had like an assessment of all of that, I'm quite equal. My lowest bit, so audio would be more that you're more somebody who, wants to listen to things. Digital will be more that it's important to you, facts and figures, and you want to read things. Well, I don't really like digital. I mean, I have to do digital in my work because I'm on a computer now every day, So as a nurse, I would have been more doing a caring role and, um, giving people care, talking to people, seeing people, doing activities. Whereas now my role is more talking and unfortunately, on a computer. And it's that bit that I don't really like. But equally, I'm more audio as well. So I like listen to podcasts. I like listen to audible books. I don't particularly like reading. I do read if I have to, but I would rather listen. So it's being aware that we're all very different, and that can help us with everything. So how we have relationships, how we work with people. It's being aware that we all filter in a different way. Some of us
Yeah,
are across the board, and other people are more, you can tell. So you might be more visual. I can tell because you like, your hair, coloured hair, and you're quite pink, and your
yeah.
colours. And You know,
And I think
obviously,
as well with with vision boarding, that could define, like there's different types of ways you can vision board. You don't have
yeah,
to have a visual vision
yeah,
board. It
yeah,
can be in a way, obviously, of a letter, a letter to your future vision, so
yeah,
you could have it in a different way. You could record it via,
yeah,
affirmation way, via voice notes. So there's lots of ways that you can actually create a vision board, but
yeah,
obviously for a visual person it would be on a vision board so you can see the visions.
yeah.
So how do you how do you help people in terms of their NLP and stuff, to remove those limits and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I suppose really from a one-to-one client point of view, if it wasn't in the world of occupational health, because I'll separate the two. So in occupational health, what I'm doing is looking for clues in how people are talking to me. So what they're sort of focusing on, and where I'm trying to find out, is there underlying reasons why people are poorly, and are there underlying reasons why they might not be going back to work. And so there'll be key things that they say. So I'll be very much listening to what they're telling me, how they filtering in the world, and building up a rapport, so that you learn that in NLP. So obviously, what is important to the person, what are they talking about, and obviously mirroring that back. So it's all about building up a rapport, which you learn in NLP. And if somebody, in terms of like a limiting belief, it could be, for example, let's just think of a case that I've dealt with recently. Say a teacher, and they believe that their health problems at the moment are going to mean that they'll never be able to go back to work again because everything just seems so bad, say with their mental health. Then you're going to help them to see how they could get there eventually. So it obviously, for me, I would be signposting them for support. So whether that be for counselling, whether it be for medication, whether there might be some health and well-being things, that they need to do. And giving them also examples of other people that we've helped. So for example, it could be somebody going through the menopause that's having anxiety and depression, and showing them the steps they need to take to get better, but also telling them about people that we have helped before and they have managed to get back to work, and we can work with your manager to get you back on a phased return. And you might need some additional support, you might need to go to a support group. So initially, people might just be so overwhelmed with whatever problem it is, and
Yeah.
it's showing them that how you can help them, but also helping people to believe. It's about having a belief and finding out what your beliefs are. I believe that everybody's got the resources within them to do anything they want, achieve anything they want. And sometimes you might need some help from someone else. So often people will be feeling really poorly, whether it be physically or mentally. And I believe that they can get better in some shape or form to lead at least, a good quality of life, even if it was like really bad. But at that moment in time when they're in it, all they can see is just that they're in it. And
Yeah, they just see a
helping them.
cloud, and
Yeah,
it's they can't see that through that. Like
yeah,
I did a post about something quite similar the other day on social media. Was like I went for a walk along the coast, and it was so foggy. And sometimes, like when you're in that state of mind where it's
yeah.
foggy,
Mhm.
you can't see underneath that fog. It just doesn't lift for you. But doing that,
Yeah,
this slow process of you like taking those small steps to
mhm.
go to that meeting, or go to that take that medication, or go to see a counsellor, those small steps will lift that
Yeah,
fog for people. So
yeah,
it's very much a similar process, isn't it, in terms of actually being able to see the light at the end of the
yeah,
tunnel.
yeah. And if I was doing NLP one-to-one with a person, and they are wanting to achieve something, a particular goal, And this brings us nicely back to like, you know, your vision board, and you might have something on there that you're thinking, oh my God, really want that, but I don't know how I'm going to achieve it. It's working with that belief, isn't it? And how do you overcome it? How do you, you know, that big frog that you're thinking, I can't possibly eat that. You know,
Yeah.
it's having someone, isn't it, to support you through those steps, really.
Yeah.
And
So tell
sometimes
us
we
a little
can't do
bit,
it on our
Karen.
own.
Tell us a little bit about things that you've actually achieved from your vision board using the NLP techniques and stuff.
God, loads. I mean, it's weird because sometimes you look at your board and you're like, oh, actually, I haven't done any of that yet, but all these things have happened, you know,
Yeah.
bigger or better. So, for example, one I'll talk about because it is really good last year was, I mean, I've been working quite a lot on like being more visible. So I've been working with Danny Wallace, and I'm doing the Be Heard program this year. But I set that intention last year of being a lot more visible because you know, don't you, as well as I, Lisa, that helps us in our business, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
more we can get ourselves, you know, seen, the better that'll help us to achieve what we want in business. Okay, maybe not for everybody, but you know, I think for us, that's the case. And last year, I joined Leading Ladies Society and was going to their networking, and I sat next to somebody who worked within the menopause, and we got chatting, and it turned out that the TV approached the menopause cafes that we were running last year and said, would you come on a documentary with ITVB, which was filmed in August last year. So the person who they'd approached, they said, you know, out of a group of us, who would like to come and onto this TV documentary? And I think at first I was just like, oh God, you know, the thought of like being filmed on TV, I don't know, I'm just not that sort of a person. I don't really like being in the limelight, you know. I've been a nurse all my life. I'm help others. I'm a mum, you know, working away
But
on
you
my
did
business.
say yes, though, yeah?
But yeah, but I just thought, you know what, this would be a brilliant opportunity. I'm really passionate about getting the menopause, you know, out there. I want to be visible. What better opportunity to be visible is doing this? What's the worst thing that can happen, you know? So
Yeah.
I said yes, and you know, I ended up doing it. And even like on the day of when it was filmed, it was like a mock-up menopause cafe in Manchester with the Cheshire Housewives. And us, you know, girls from just like everyday lives were like, oh God, you know, like, how are we going to feel next to these, you know, glamorous women? But, you know, we all just said the same. We'll support each other, and they're no better than us. You know, they are women the same as us. It's just that they're on TV, you know? And
Yeah.
okay, they might have more money, possibly. So anyway, they were really appreciative of us and our advice and support. And then we went on and did this glamorous photo shoot a few weeks later. And again, it was like, oh my God, you know, here's us, you know, and there's them in their, you know, designer frocks, and they've got all the makeup and the hair and, you know, all the treatments that they can have. You know, we haven't got that. But at the end of the day, we did all say to ourselves, well, you know, we're all supporting each other. We are all real, you know, we're just going to show up, do our best. And why are we on this program? We're on it to raise awareness about the menopause. We're all passionate about it. So don't lose sight of that. And it's going to help us to get the message out there. And it'll come back to helping us in our businesses. So, you know, we got glammed up. And I just kept saying to myself, you know, I can do this. I've got all it takes, and I just need to like breathe through it, and I'll be fine. And I think with NLP, it teaches you to have confidence, and it teaches you that you have got all those resources within you. I mean, I didn't even use anchoring, but you can use anchoring where if you're really anxious about something, you go to your best feeling place. So mine would be the beach. So if I wanted to, on that day, I could have gone to the beach. I could have put my anchor on. So that can just be that you choose, you know, like that as an anchor. or it could be, you know, just say I've got a little crystal. It could be that, you know,
Yeah.
holding your crystal or anything. So you're anchoring in the feeling of the best feeling place. And then if you were, for example, it was a photo shoot where all the Cheshire housewives were watching me and my friends and a whole TV crew, and you were like, oh God, you know, I was like just standing there like, oh. And then the girls knew that I'd gone to Ibiza, because in the documentary I spoke about, you know, you don't, age doesn't need to stop you doing stuff. If you want to go to Ibiza when you're 50, go to Ibiza when you're 50 and dance
Yeah.
and have a laugh. So I was talking about that in the first bit of the documentary, and they remembered. So when I was stood there, and I was a bit like that, you know, trying to, a bit stiff, nervous. And Lister Adams, if you watch it, I don't know, but she said, come on, come on, girl. Imagine you're in Ibiza dancing like that. And they just got me to dance and mess about. And I started laughing, and then I relaxed, you know.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes it does take that, doesn't it? So, Karen,
yeah.
Obviously NLP, I'm passionate about NLP as well. You know, I'm also trained to teach NLP. So for me, NLP has been a huge part of obviously how we shift our mind and how we
Yeah.
start working towards those visions and stuff. So if someone was to come and work with yourself, where would they be able to find you, Karen?
So they can book via my website. So that's www.zenoccupationalhealth.com.
And I will
So
drop
there is,
those details in the comments as well below. So if anyone
yeah,
does want to find that.
yeah.
And what is there anything you would like to leave the listeners or viewers with today? Is there any top tips you'd like to leave them with, or a quote that really sings to your heart?
I mean, I think my number one belief is that we have got all the resources within us to do anything we want, you know, and just be unstoppable. You know, you can do whatever you want. You can live your dreams and achieve all you want. You know, don't let life get in the way of any of that. Just go
Fabulous.
for it.
And on that note, we're going to let the ladies go off and start working on their fabulous life towards their dreams. And if anyone does want to reach out to Karen, her details will be in the comments below. And you can go and find out a bit more about NLP and what she does to help you work towards those dreams. So a massive thank you for joining today, Karen.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. What a fabulous session that was from the lovely Karen. So do check out the details below where you can find out a little bit more about Karen and how NLP can help you. If you are interested in learning more about vision boards, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.